So, all right. Welcome to the Leighton Inclusion Interview Show, where we talk about the difference between kindness and cruelty with an emphasis on kindness. And today we're going to be talking a lot about creativity and the tension and uh, thoughts of seeking attention because I've got Clare Lindley from Big Big Train and they've got a new album. Hi, Claire, how are you?
Hi, I'm really delighted to be here. Thank you very much. I'm very well.
Me too. And Claire's got this amazing musical history. I was on the Big Big Train website last night. You've been in a bunch of bands. You're from Scotland. And actually, I have a lot of favorite rockers from Scotland. Two of my super creative favorites, Ian Anderson and David Byrne, are
Ye-
also
Yes, absolutely. Ian Anderson, David Byrne, absolutely. I think he wasn't there for very long, but we do claim him as
good. You should.
yeah, yeah, brilliant. I agree.
And
David, amazing, amazing artist.
totally, totally. And he's broken so many rules. And I think in many ways we all can break rules, but I think you Scottish people and are breaking a lot of rules in many ways because here you are in a band. You've been in this band for 4 years, 4 or 5
Yeah,
years,
yeah,
and they're asking you to write. I mean, I granted you all are writing, but a lot of these songs that are the super meaningful songs, like the Woodcut, the artist, what is this new single?
but they are
Woodcutter,
the artist and the sharpest blade as
the
well.
sharpest blade. Yes, those two. I mean, you're involved. The sharpest blade is your song. You're going out into the woods and things like that from the
Yeah,
Woodcutter album.
yeah, yes, that's right. Um, And that was written just I wrote that song in a teaching room where um, I teach guitar in a junior school. And the only thing in that room are guitars, or the music I've brought with me. And if somebody doesn't turn up, or sometimes in lunch hour, um, I will remember to put my phone down and to pick up an instrument and start noodling on it. And I knew I needed to write a song. They'd sort of they'd said, "Could you please write something folky? Could you write something in a folky style? It would suit the subject matter as well." Um, so I knew that I needed to get on and do that. It's very easy to put those things off. Um, but yeah, so the sharpest blade happened. It started with a little noodle, a little guitar pick, and I got my chords together. The time was running out. The We had a deadline to get all the music written for the album. So everyone
Right.
who throwing in entries to the album, it needed to be in by the end of December. And I think it was, the middle of December or something, or at least the beginning of it. And I still hadn't, I had this bunch of chords that were just, and I couldn't work out what was going where and what was a verse and what was a chorus. And eventually you just have to kind of stop noodling. You just have to decide what it's going to be and then add the melodies and the words on top of that. So that's the hardest thing is to make a decision about, for
Mm-hmm.
me, the chord progression and to stick with that and go, is that good enough? Is that interesting enough? So yeah. Um
Yeah.
I digress. That was my song. I threw it in and our drummer NDV and Ricard, the guitarist, added quite a lot to it. They basically they took my little folk. She's like a little girl. They took my little folk song with her short socks on and her walk and her skirt, and they like fully rocked her and she went leather and studded at the end of that song. So that was really great.
Well, I
Yeah.
think folk songs kind of make the best rock songs on many levels. I mean, Twisted Sister, We're Not Gonna Take It, or Iron Maiden's Run to the Hills, those really are folk songs.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
absolutely. And there's a lot of darkness in folk music as well. I mean,
Yeah.
you think of it as being quite twee. You could maybe think of it as being quite safe or twee or old-fashioned in some ways. But some of my favorite folk songs are there's a song called Cruel Sister, who is a jealous sister who murders her sister.
Yeah.
There are numerous songs. There's a song called Twa Corbies, which in Scots means two crows. And
Mm-hmm.
the crows are sitting on a wall, and these two crows are deciding. There's a knight who has been slain and is lying on the other side of this wall. Um, and his lady has run off with another knight. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so these two crows are deciding which bit of the night to eat first. Um, you know, it's one of my favorite songs. There's a lot of darkness and murder and the hardest side of humanity at that time. It really stretches it. So absolutely, you can put that into rock and metal and uh, yeah, it's dark enough. Yeah,
Yeah. And I do hear chords like I can imagine Barbara Allen uh with serious take this idea, somebody, serious
yeah,
chords, you know.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, totally. I mean, Joan Baez, Judas Priest covered Diamonds and Rust. Bam. So,
yeah,
oh, yeah, we're off to a great start. I think I love you. So this is great. The theme of that song and some of the running themes in the album feel like it's about, hey, I'm trying to impress people with my art. I want to be perfect. I want this greatness. And it's like, is that when I started this interview, I said, we're seeking attention. We're getting tense by seeking attention. Could that be a running thing? What do you think? I mean, I'm psychoanalyzing Big Big Train today. So,
yeah. I think in terms of the artist that certainly I've helped create, I think that artist is, yeah, he's in a way, you're right, because he's judging himself. He doesn't feel like he has achieved very much. We don't actually know. That's all going on inside him. They're all feelings that he and thoughts. We don't really know how he really has done, how successful he is, let's say. He doesn't
right.
feel he's had success. He feels like a very isolated character to me who doesn't have somebody to bounce off or a lot of people to bounce off to say,
Oh, yeah.
it's not all about this or that. It's not about likes and thumbs up, and it's not all about views on YouTube or whatever. It's not all about finances. Um, uh, or maybe he does have those people around and that is what maybe that's what they're into, but for whatever reason, he doesn't feel like he's successful. And that and he's he's reaching the end of his tether in whatever way that is. You can read into that however far you want to go with it.
Oh,
He's about
yeah.
to give up, whether that's on the whole his life or just his art. Who knows? So certainly he wants attention, but he just wants, I think, validation. I think he needs to be not feel invisible anymore as well.
Oh, yeah.
It,
He definitely wants that. But he
it
also, yeah.
it was great creating him. It was great. The whole idea of it really inspired me because with this, there are so many themes that you can put into that are relevant for humans and for today's
Hmm.
humans as well. Yeah, and there's, how you, it's basically reaching that point at which you're desperate and you've come up against the challenge and working out, are you going to keep trying? Are you going to push through that? Have you got enough strength in yourself to try again, to keep going? Or are you just going to give up? I think that's the big theme of it, isn't it? And well, that's the start. That's the start of it, really. And then at what point you're in a vulnerable place, what happens after that is what unfolds in Woodcut, because he's a very vulnerable character, I can say. So he goes on this journey.
Yeah, it's an interesting self-reflection. I mean, there are variations on it on what it takes to do art, as well as, I mean, even industry people. Because what is the line about the birds making 1,000 birds and you don't hear them sing? That
Exactly. To count a thousand
yeah,
birds. Yeah, never hear them
it
sing.
it's such a song. And there are you wrote well, there were some of the songs you had two or three lyricists.
Yes.
And the album itself was recorded at so many studios. I mean, are you guys and gal sharing tapes or wave files now?
Yeah.
Um,
We did. The bulk of you could say the backbone and most of the meat of the album were recorded all together in Sweetwater Studios in Fort Wayne at the back end of a tour we'd just done. Um, and
oh,
so 10 days in the studio. The music had been composed at that point, but we needed to go in and record it together. Um, and that's done. The drums and the bass are recorded together, and then and it the process is that everyone's in the room together.
mm-hmm.
I in in small booths, but you are playing live. You're playing this song all together at the same time. And so it definitely changes the way you respond to the music that another musician is making instantly. It's completely different to tracking and sending that out. It feels different. It sounds like a more cohesive band, I think. It sounds like you've a band in the room rather than, I mean, I'm not saying it's not a bad thing to track it
No,
in studios, but
but
I think it is a different beast when you record all together. And then what happens with that basic recording is then sometimes the guitarists might want to redo,
mhm.
but they've got the band in their cans then as they're putting their part back in. So you're still recording to the band that is playing kind of what it was playing live. So
Of course you're progressive rock.
yeah,
You'll tweak it, you'll hear it. Sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
So, but
And
that yeah.
so all
I'm
the songs were all written at that point, but there were no vocals. The vocal lines were also written, but we hadn't actually written all the lyrics at that point. And there were strings to go on. Paul needed to play some trumpet on it. Yeah, there were various other things to go on, and all the backing vocals needed to be done.
mhm.
And vocals. So we did them. Some of those things got done in Southampton at our engineer's studio, and some of the like the backing vocals we all did in our own homes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Oh, well
yeah,
done. Very
thank you.
cool. You're welcome. There's one, I mean, y'all are from different countries. There's one song called Albion Press, which is about expectations. And again, that's your lyric. And I think
No,
composition.
that's Greg's actually. That's Greg's
Oh,
lyric.
he got the ball rolling on that.
Oh, sorry. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, no, that's me. That's me, the Albion
Okay,
Press.
cool. But I looked up Albion because seen that word so many times. And
Yeah,
it looks like the word England. Am I off on what Albion means, or did I not go
I
to?
might have to look at. Oh, I know in Gaelic, in Scots Gaelic, Alba is Scotland. So I wonder if it's actually is Albion. We'll have to Google it. Are we
Yeah,
allowed
we
to?
will.
Are we allowed to Google it while we're interviewing? I'm going to look it up
Okay,
just now.
Google it. Google away. Yeah,
Albion.
I mean, yeah,
I
because I
think
was
yeah,
curious about the title.
great. Britain, an ancient poetic name for Great Britain.
Oh,
It's just, yeah, Great Britain. Um,
I'm
yeah,
wrong. Great
I
Britain.
my working title for that song, which is why I just got confused about it, because is was the first press, because we knew that he carves his woodcut, and then you make a print of it, and you do a first press, a bit like you do when you're making albums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, Greg went to see, so the band commissioned a Dorset artist called Robin Mackenzie
Mm-hmm.
to do a woodcut for us, to actually get a bit of wood and actually do the woodcut, which is the album cover. It's a beautiful piece of art. And so Greg, the bass player and one of the founder members of Big Big Train, went to Robin's house, and he saw this huge press. It's a great Victorian antique, which he's done up and uses as part of the process. And Greg was just completely inspired by it. That's right up his his tree, right up his road. Um, so he said, "Would you mind if we use that, if we call it the Albion Press? It's got some weight and history, and it's a great big Victorian cast iron, huge thing which you press the paper onto the woodcut." So yeah, that's where that come from. It wasn't actually my, all the words are mine, but the title has got to go to Greg, actually.
Uh-huh. The song is about expectation. At least that's how I'm interpreting it. Um,
Yeah, and it's about him sort of having made a having made something really good. I mean, The Sharpest Blade is the song before it,
mhm.
and that's about when our artist has. So I don't know whether I should tell too much of the story yet, but our artist has tried again to make a woodcut, and um in the Albion Press, he's realized that it's actually really good. And he's a little bit obsessed with it because it's probably the best thing he's ever done. And he sort of can't quite believe it, really. So he's a little bit obsessed with it. He's a little bit addicted to this to this thing. And in the middle, what does he say? He can't believe that the colors are changing. That he's always seen things in black and white. His woodcuts are black and white. The prints are made in black and white, and suddenly he starts seeing color in things. So yes,
Oh,
it's like a revelation for him that things are could this actually be it? Could things be coming together now? I think
sweet,
so.
sweet,
Yeah.
sweet. Uh, I like this album, and I'm really thrilled that everybody writes and does composition and writing. You all are from different parts of the world, or I should say, different parts of Europe, from Italy on up.
Yes.
And so, so everybody goes home and then comes back and meets in the United States, I guess, at Sweetwater.
Or the UK.
Okay,
Or
gotcha.
the
That
sometimes.
studio in the
Yeah,
UK?
not Rob's studio actually. We tend to get a rehearsal space for a week before we go on tour. And then and that's become Southampton, sort of the south of England area.
Got, gotcha. So the album's coming out February. You're going on tour in the fall, uh,
Yes.
this fall. So what is what's the slowness, or is just how things worked out for booking? And will there
Yeah, I
be
think that,
probably festivals? in the summer?
Possibly not this year, maybe the year afterwards. We are doing Cruise to the Edge in early March, it is. So we're doing that again from Miami.
Ah, that makes sense. So that's the sure, and yeah, because everybody's coming out with prog records in March. Yep.
Yeah. So we're doing one kind of warm-up show in Southampton. We're doing Cruise to the Edge, and then we are waiting um until the autumn to do a bigger tour of the UK and Europe.
Mhm.
I, the, we worked a lot last year. We did two tours. Sorry, in 2024 we did two tours, um,
Right.
festivals. And you're absolutely right. Being an international band, it's very expensive to get us together. And all bands at the moment, this you'll know, it's really difficult to make money on tour. And the
Uh-huh.
more people add, the harder it is to make money. And not even make money, but just break even. So I think we needed to rein it in a little bit in 2025. And and just, transatlantic flights for the drummer and getting us all together and putting us up in hotels, and it's really, really nice. But to focus a little bit on the music, making some more music, releasing albums, and hopefully just keep funding those tours as well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, the economics of touring, and they have changed. Uh, and it's also hard. I I I don't mean to be political, but here we are. It's hard to get international artists back into the United States
Okay.
nowadays.
Okay.
Yeah, and we don't have to comment too much on that, but we do. Yeah, things have really changed here. So, and I can see why we're all going to Europe, and we like touring in Europe a lot more these
Yeah.
days.
And I think even for the UK, things have changed very slightly as well, in that after Brexit happened, we didn't have a deal to, for example, do carnets. So the carnet thing has come back with a vengeance that we used to have to do in the 70s. So now you need to pay money to say what you're going to take over the overseas. All your equipment needs to be listed and then checked in at every time you go into another country. A carnet needs to be done, and it's all extremely time consuming and quite expensive. And you need to have, even visas to come to the States are really
Hmm.
expensive. So yeah, it's an expensive business these days to tour,
Yeah, yeah.
especially when
So
you put
every
the
country is pretty difficult to work with nowadays. It's an international band. Wow. So things will change. You you played this is I have to put in a good word because I work with the Slambovians who
okay,
played Property
okay.
and you did in 2024. And I wasn't shocked to see that, but again, it's the folk and prog, it's the folk influence in prog music.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Wonderful festival. Absolutely wonderful. So many people who are so loyal to it, and have, and Fairport Convention were really nice. They were around backstage as well. Super friendly guys. Yeah. Yeah. It's it's so homegrown as well.
hmm.
It's obviously not now. It's a very well run and well established festival, but it's obviously come from a band who have felt really strongly about keeping that going, who've driven it forward. So yeah, wonderful, wonderful thing. You'd love it.
Oh, I know I would totally. And you were in a bunch of before 2020, you were in a bunch of different folk and folk prog bands. were any of your bands like Fairport Convention? Because I'm trying to figure out Place Your Voice, who all it reminds me of. It's really a comforting singing voice that you
Oh, thank you
have.
very
Thank you. Uh,
It's yeah, it's sort of I'm a slightly low resonator, and it's I've got a sort of I on graphic
Alto.
EQ, I've got to always add a lot of top to my voice. So yeah, there's not a lot of top in it, but um yeah,
Don't need
where
it.
bands, I started gigging in Aberdeen, and in Aberdeen in the pub scene in Aberdeen. Um, the great thing about Scotland and Ireland, and I'm not saying it's exclusive to them, but in the 90s in bars in Aberdeen, you would go in and you'd play some Van Morrison, you'd do some rock, you'd do some folk, you'd put a jazz song in, then you'd play some jigs and reels. And none of that seemed incongruous to the audience. They just like, oh, like this song, yeah, we'll dance to that now, or we'll buy some more beer and drink to that. None of it. There's a great melting pot. You didn't have to be one thing. You could be all sorts of
Oh,
things. You didn't have to stereotype. There obviously were bands who went around who just did folk rock or just did jazz, but you could happily go in as a pub artist and just play what you wanted. Bit of, bit of Radiohead, bit of anything you like. A good song is a good song. So I think that's carried on in lots of aspects, and lots of groups I've been in have just have mixed it up quite a lot as well.
yeah,
And I think I've done a really huge amount of Celtic fiddle playing, and
sure.
I played for a lot of dancing, a lot of ceilidhs, which is, it's Scottish social dancing, slightly organized in a kind of chaotic way, quite a lot of the time as well. You need no dancing skill whatsoever to do a ceilidh. You just have to leap around, really, in the right sequence. Um, uh, yeah. Um, and with those bands you can put together, as long as the kind of the fiddle tunes are there, you can put what you want behind it. So it's been kind of Latin percussion, or there's been, a really traditional sound with just maybe the guitar as your lowest instrument and bowrans as the drum, or
hmm
you, and I think, sorry, I'm just rattling on here from my
No, you're remembering too.
I have, yeah. But I also think that, I was born in the early 70s, and that was a great time for music. And even in the 80s, we absorbed, all that rock and then all that kind of disco and the funk and all those sorts of things as well. And even though you are playing folk music, you assimilate all that stuff and you bring it into your music. So even though it's a traditional tune or a traditional instrument you're playing, you are just bringing a little bit of that rock, that funk, that disco
hmm
times. I know the listener might not be able to hear it that much, but it's there. I think it is,
There's this album from Fairport Convention. Now you're making me remember this, and I'm going to go listen to it tonight. The Bunch from
Yeah,
Fairport Convention, which runs the gamut. And this is from the 1960s. And it
yeah,
ran the gamut. There's a little Gordon Lightfoot cover and a Dion cover and a variety of weird covers as well as originals and
yeah,
different lead. And this is what I love about Big Big Train, different lead vocalists in the
yeah,
band.
yeah. I think Alberto's done that. Our lead vocalist Alberto also produced the album. He wrote a lot of it and he pieced it all together. It's a concept album. A lot of it runs from one song right into another. And
hmm
he's taken melody lines and themes which we wrote, and he's he's just scattered them throughout different parts of the album as well. So there are threads running through not only of the story but of the musical themes that keep
Right.
appearing on instruments. He's done a beautiful job. Um, I think in the last few years, since a few of us have joined, Oscar Holdorf, he's a lead vocalist in his own band. I've done lots of lead vocals. Alberto, obviously, Ricard, Nick DiVirgilio.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
there are probably more lead vocalists than there were before. That's not to say that any of the previous members of Big Big Train couldn't sing, because they all sang and there were lots of backing vocalists. But I think Alberto quite wants to give us all a little bit of our own spot,
Yeah.
as well as all these amazing backing vocals that he's arranged as well. So yeah, I think you're right. It's
Yeah,
nice.
it's an amazing. I just love it. A joyous thing, even in a dark kind of way. Haha. But I think that's probably what it is attractive in the prog community, because you folks are one of the most popular bands in Prague as far as the quote unquote newer bands that have come out.
I think you're probably right. I think so. I think you're probably right. I think they've so Greg formed the band with a couple of other guys uh, in about 1990, and
Right.
he's just worked really consistently and solidly. I mean, this is the 16th album.
Yeah.
Um, and I think he's just driven the whole project forward. And I think uh, it's got all that experience behind it. It's got all those years and the Providence, if you like. Um, and
Mhm.
now there's a slightly new bunch of people in it. And Greg, it's amazing if you've formed a band and you've driven it forward, it's your baby. Then to after at this stage in it, say, right, let's have you all writing stuff. I just want to throw that out to you. I remember when we were talking about writing the lyrics for the album, because Greg and I decided we would do it. There is one
Mhm.
other our drummer, but Greg and I wrote all the other songs. I think it was easy to keep it as two people, so that the storyline, there needed to be a very good storyline running through it, and it was easy
Uh-huh.
for people to communicate and keep checking in about what that storyline was doing, rather than seven people do it, say.
Sure.
So, um, but I think at this stage, for Greg to be able to say, go for it, guys, write some stuff, just, create, and you're very welcome to bring that into Big Big Train. We'll use it. Can we use your material? I think that's I think that's amazing, actually. Rather than getting more, you could imagine people getting more controlling over the output rather than less, just throwing it open, going, guys, it's over to you now.
But you're grown-ups.
Yeah, we
You,
are. Yeah, yeah, we are.
and you really are. I mean, there's a collaborative um, style where we're going to lift up these songs and we're there. We don't have to be the ego anymore. One for all and all for one. I mean, that's what people, it's a train, big, big train. It's like you, and there are folk songs about trains where uh, the train is going together to get to a destination. I'm being cute, but
Oh, the train thing is so good in folk and country music, isn't it? The
yeah,
train thing
yeah,
is it's and they're
yeah,
huge. They're just it's rolling along. You'll not stop it like easily, will you?
yeah.
I think you're bang on there when you say that we're grown-ups. I think the dynamic of the personalities works as well, as that we're grown-ups. Even the youngsters are actually quite grown up. I've got something really funny to tell you.
Mm.
Paul, our trumpet player, is still in his 20s. Um, so he really does lower the average age of the band in quite a nice, satisfying way. And but you know how at the end of the year, Spotify will tell you the age, the average age of your listening, you know.
Oh,
And so we all did that at the end of 2025. We were all like in our WhatsApp thread, we're saying, and what's your average age? And most of us were in the kind of 70. My listening age was 74 or something, and
oh,
quite a few
okay.
that, you know, you could imagine. And I think somebody managed a 60 something. And Paul, who's the youngest member of the band, he plays trumpet. He will listen to a lot of old music, old brass band music,
Like
probably.
Miles.
Yeah, or British brass bands, for
Okay,
example,
okay. Oh,
or
sure.
classical
In
music.
love,
And his
the
average age,
original.
I think, was 84. He's got the oldest. Just love that.
Oh
That's
man.
so fun. But yeah, no, we're grown-ups. We know how to behave, I think. We know how to work with each other, and we know how to behave like human beings. And none of us is bringing, I don't think anybody's bringing a lot of unwieldy baggage to this group. So,
Yeah.
uh, which is nice that it works.
So when you first came to London in 1990 from Scotland, were you seeking fame and fortune or what? What was your goal in those days? There's a big smile
Actually,
on your face.
I moved to London in 1999. So I'd worked for like a decade in Aberdeen for that. And I met a cellist who lived in London. And that was it, really. I don't think I could persuade him to come and live in Aberdeen, which is not the classical capital of the world like London was. So I moved to London at that point and spent 5 years in London. Um,
Hmm.
what was my goal? I reckon it was just heart led, you know, fallen in love with someone, move to London, pick up a career there. It's quite difficult going from being an established musician of 8 or 9 or 10 years in a city to suddenly uh unwillingly go to another place where absolutely nobody knows you. Nobody's heard of you or any of the bands you've played in. They don't know what you do. And you suddenly have to get a job in a bar to make ends meet, you know. That's the sort of you get there and you think, what have I done? This is crazy.
Hmm.
But career-wise, not even career-wise, I'd say growth as a person and a musician, it's one of the best things you can do is just pluck yourself out of all your comfort zones, every single one of them, and just throw yourself into the fire straight in, and see if you can make it out again alive, you know, see if you
True.
can. Hey,
Yeah, because London has the same line about that New Yorkers have. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. I don't know if that's true,
yeah,
but
I think I got straight into a Celtic music scene, and they immediately just sort of embraced me, and I started getting gigs almost straight away, actually. So, yeah, um, yeah, and you compare yourself to, but then there's a. I remember saying to one person in Aberdeen, I was a fairly big fish in a small pond by the time I left.
sure.
And in London, I was it's just a tiddler, as we'd call them. That like nobody, you're in a vast pond, you know, and you
Hmm.
look at people who are playing fiddle or whatever on the scene, and you think, oh boy, they're great. Or and there's hundreds of them, and you think, wow, I'm gonna have to really step it up here. Actually, can't rest on my laurels, and that's really good. It's not
Cool.
comfortable,
No, no, it's
not.
not.
no,
Do,
but if you can get through that, it's much better for you. It's much more realistic. It was for me.
yeah. What did you have in common with the artist on Woodcut
Yeah, I
in
think
99?
it's a yeah. I think you're. I think that's a really pertinent question. What do I have in common? Self-doubt, um, a feeling like well, I wasn't gonna make it. I wasn't sure I could emotionally, confidently stand up and go, actually, well, you're not as good as them. And also comparing yourself to other people. But actually, when it comes down to it, you do need to do more work. You do need to keep trying. You do need to carry on. But
Yeah,
also rather than just worrying about it all the time, am I good enough? Oh, I've not done this yet, or I've not, oh, I can't play like that, or just get on with it kind of thing. That
yeah,
there's nothing as good as just getting on with it rather than sort of letting it do your head in. Um, it's the best medicine is just getting on with it. So yeah. So I think
yeah. I love that line too. I
yeah.
have, I work with artists that don't, I give them an assignment and they do it. I have worked also with artists that you give them an assignment and it's just like this whole big, come on, it's for your good. Do it. Don't cancel the gig. Bring it. If nobody's at the gig, just lift heavy
Yeah,
and lift the audience up that are
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good
They'll-
quality audience can be very, very small. But
yeah, lift them up.
yeah,
Did you go back to Scotland? Is that where do you teach now?
I actually live in Wales.
Ah,
Moved out of London, moved to Bristol, and then moved. Basically, Bristol's about 20 miles away across the Severn Estuary, the Bristol Channel, it's called. A couple of bridges across there, and we just live just across there now. But we're in Wales. Um, my mum's still in Scotland. I'm from quite high up in Scotland. I'm from the Highlands, Aberdeenshire. It's not the very top of Scotland, which is basically nobody lives there. Not only people who are have skin so thick that the midges and the horseflies don't bother them at all. Uh, Not many of those. But the next kind of step down in Scotland, I'm from there. And it's from yeah. So so my mum's still alive and she's still there, and I do go back and see her and see some friends fairly regularly. Um, don't often do work there, but because it's 550 miles away, 550 miles, so long way.
I hear you. Yeah. So the Great Britain, it's Wales, then Scotland, and then England, and
Scotland's at
then
the top.
Ireland. Oh, Scotland's on the top and Wales is below it.
Scotland's on the top, England's below, and then Wales is sort of the westerly bit of the lump, which is England. So that's there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Geography.
that's all right. Um,
Ireland has Northern Ireland on top. That's it.
that's right. That's right.
Okay, I've
That-
redeemed myself. I will look at a map for 20 minutes tonight
I'll expect it
for
next
my
time we
penance.
talk, and I will be testing you on it.
So what is it like there? Is it nature? Because you do seem like a nature girl.
Yeah. Um, yeah, there's a lot of you cross the border and basically it's easier to drive. There's not many traffic. There's it's much more mountainous and really the west side of Britain is more mountainous than the east side, but the west coast of Scotland is probably our most dramatic scenery.
Mm.
Uh, I'm from the east coast of Scotland, so it's more like rolling hills there. Um, But yeah, I love walking up hills. Myself and Brian, my partner, are rock climbers, so we are often out and about in nature, uh, climbing up it. Um, and yeah, it's really, I feel a great sense of um, importance in looking after it as well. You know, as climbers, uh, we're trained to leave nothing behind as well. If anything, you pick up a few bits of rubbish and take them out of
Sure.
the. We obviously leave marks because climbers go to crags or bits of rock, and the paths get worn, or there's the you're disturbing nature sometimes. You try not to, but I think we try to be as good stewards as we can to these places. So
Right.
yeah, I love it. I love a walk. I love getting out, and I think it's really good to clear your head to get outside as well.
I
Even
I agree. It's winter time, and I would used to, my definition of hibernating now is hibernating from being inside and going out in the snow or cold weather. We just had a snow thing, and I'm walking on top of some of the ice now.
wow,
But you
it's quite
don't climb mountains when they're icy, do you? Are they icy mountains when you
do you
climb,
know,
or
climb fewer mountains than you think. It tends to be lumps of rock, really, and they can be pretty close to a car park sometimes. In fact, the closer the better at times. Totally fair weather climber. Um, so,
bless you.
so some some of them are up mountains, but not often. We sometimes walk in. We sometimes climb in Spain, and you've got to walk. You might have to walk 20 minutes uphill to get to the bottom of your crag, which is on a mountain, but not so much here really. So, but your question was, do you climb up mountains when they are got ice?
I
Yeah,
see.
sometimes. Yeah, you can put spiky stuff on the bottom of your shoes. I think as long as you don't think you're going to fall over, you can have walking poles but I would be really wary of that as well. It's got to be a nice day. There are a few hills. I'd say it's more like hill walking when there's a bit of
Okay.
snow. Um, People are lost in the Cairngorms, and they're worldwide, they're pretty small hills, but people die uh, every year in those mountains because they're ill-equipped, or the weather's turned, or they haven't got a shelter, or they've gone up in a bad day, or there's an avalanche. So I'm not that into that really. I'm not
No,
into
neither. I think, but you're giving wisdom on what I would need to learn before I climbed a mountain or a hill of that type. I mean, sure, we go to the forest and once in a while go to a park, but I'm not a hiker to that level. Yeah, I'm more a city girl. Truth, and my thing of nature is I have cats, and we have a nice
great,
park with trees that I can hug. So
great,
yeah, yeah. But
brilliant,
yeah,
are they? Parks
what?
are brilliant. Lifesavers in cities, I think.
Oh gosh, yes, totally. For best piece of advice for someone that's learning to be a mountain climber, we got to do that.
Best piece of advice, go with someone who knows the mountain. Absolutely get someone more experienced than you and go with them. It's what you wear is really important. How much water you have is really
Mm,
important. And I think when to know when to turn back and start going down the hill again if things change is really important as well. But I'd say my biggest advice if for people who are seriously thinking about walking up hills is get a lot of get a lot of knowledge from other people that are much more experienced than you, and don't go up in trainers, go up in
Trainers are shoes.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Go up in proper boots and have something waterproof and have some warm clothes, even on a sunny day. You need
Wow.
proper because the weather can change. And if you're caught in a rain shower, you'll get really cold really fast. And if you get really
Man versus nature.
man versus nature, yeah, nature one, man zero. In those conditions anyway. I'm not sure how well nature's doing in it. I think man's getting the upper hand in some ways, but yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. So, are any favorite TV shows or movies that you're watching? And I'm currently watching Homeland in America, uh, on Netflix, and I'm kind of impressed with how sharp the woman is. I love women TV shows where the woman is the badass.
Yeah, that's an amazing show. We watched that a few years ago. The whole lot, all the seasons. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, you're right. I think there's more female-led television. There's a lot more of it on now. There's a lot more where the main character's female. What are we watching
Yeah,
at the There's a lot of amazing TV. Some of it being made in Britain, lots of it being made in America. Really good. We're watching The Morning Show at the
the
moment.
morning show. What
Jennifer
is
An
that?
it's about it's like your morning news show.
Hmm.
It's it explores themes of power imbalances in the workplace. It very much circles the Me Too movement. It's nuanced and interesting and political program. Um, and I think it's just incredibly well done. And quite shocking, some of the themes as well. And it addresses it in a very realistic way. And it's a program which has made myself and Brian talk for, half an hour this evening on the TV program. And no, I think that's great because
Yeah.
and on issues and on how that might our own personal experiences of those things as well. Power imbalances, um, sexual predators. I think yeah, it's really good because it forces you to look at things in a slightly different way, to then sum up personal responsibilities, like who's got what responsibilities during these
Hmm.
things, in these interactions even. Oh, it's fascinating. Just yeah, we had a half an hour chat about it in the car. About and so highly recommend that. What else are we watching? Pluribus we're watching. Also,
Pluribus.
that's a sci-fi dystopian sci-fi, uh, also female led. Um, that's more like your, what happens if the whole world changes overnight and you're really angry about it. And
Huh.
that's that's more like your kind of bestseller uh book on the
Right.
number one. But I think the morning show is more like your Booker Prize winner in a way. I'm slightly putting my neck out here. I know you haven't watched any of either of those programs, but you'll have to let me know
No,
what
I
you.
have not. But they probably will be. I mean, I've gotten some amazing. A friend recommended Adolescence, and I watched it, and
Yes,
which is UK produced, and I
yeah,
was just uh, it punched me in the gut, the final.
totally.
Yeah, and I So I do end up following. Actually, you know who recommended it? That was John Provost that recommended Adolescence. He played Timmy on Lassie back in the 1950s. He
Wow.
was an actor. Yeah. That was a cool, that was you I do like the serious shows. I do like the shows where you are thinking about a what kids go through or what grown-ups go through nowadays because how different people respond to situations and you saw a family's heartbreak all the way through that one.
You did. You saw a
Yeah,
family's heart, saw it in very real terms. It's the programs like the morning show. There was a scene on that we watched. Um, it's when you are in a situation where, in the on the final episode of Adolescence, when they're in the van,
yeah,
driving in the van, and the family goes quiet because the the father has got angry, and they start
yeah,
getting, and that's you, and that behavior. You've sensed that behavior. And what's so powerful about that show is that most of us have been there. We've been in a room with someone who's, we're as humans, human creatures, as if somebody's having a really extreme reaction in a place quite near you, you've got a few choices, haven't you? And if you can't get out of that situation, what do humans do? They go really quiet.
you
They go,
do.
they freeze, and they stop drawing attention to themselves, and they don't do anything that might make that person even less predictable than they are now. And that's what we've all experienced. That I'm absolutely
Yeah,
sure means everybody goes through that. And some people live that in their relationships all the time, which is scary. Um,
yeah,
we know that,
yes,
or
I know that.
yeah, and that'll come up every now and then. Well, like once a month, that behavior might start, and so that's why it those shows are really important, because we all feel that, and we have lived that experience, and
Yeah,
there's are embracing that now. They're not trying to give us entertainment that is necessarily escapism all the time.
right.
Sometimes, as humans, we need to connect to the things that other human beings are going through as well.
I know. Yeah, I know that when the world is harsh on me and I'm asking for help, I've had a lot of people just turn away and
What?
not be there in the neighborhood. And I'm like, come on, please help me. And I'm trying to express myself. It's worse if it's a local politician or someone that represents you, but it's bad when a friend or someone that you believe is a friend um,
Yeah,
just turns their head. And I think the father did need comfort in there because I don't think he was what he was accused of. You know, I think it was just because his son broke the real code of life, so to speak. And I'm not saying what it was because you have to watch. I don't want to kill people's surprise on it for sure. So
yeah. I thought it was a really interesting example of uh, men, and what culturally and socially is done uh, to young boys, and who then grow into men who have to express themselves in a way which, when they're feeling at their most vulnerable, is actually when they're the most dangerous then. So
that's so true. Oh my God. Yeah. And that's realistic. It's not escapism. It's what you go through. And you do end up thinking, or I have ended up thinking, uh, thoughts about what would I do in that situation. So yeah, that's
yeah,
that's a totally
definitely.
stirring episode. Yeah.
And to absolutely bring this in a very cheesy way back to art and music, I think
Absolutely.
we as humans need to connect with other humans, and that's what art does. That's one of the main jobs. That's the main reason why humans make art, is to connect us to other humans and to connect our difficult emotions with other people and find a way to express that. I mean, look at the blues. You know, uh,
Mm,
I rest my case. The blues makes us happy because we know that other people are going through some of the same things that we are. It's not Schadenfreude necessarily that we're happy
no,
that's
it's not.
a terrible time. It's that, we all struggle, and it's good to know we're not alone and that somebody else might know the kind of thing we're struggling with as well. That's that's art, and that's film and those things.
Yeah. And that's why we scream, yeah, when the blues singer testifies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. Yeah. So I'm enjoying this interview. Is there anything else that you'd like to add that I should know or we should know about
Um,
your journey?
oh, that's a wide one. Um, Anything else that I think I suppose I suppose finding really nice people to work with is like, I mean, this isn't a job. I do gigs, but this is a definitely a lifestyle, a vocation. It's a
Yeah,
it's 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 who I am. I'm just Claire. I'm a musician. I'm That's almost one of the
you are. Yeah.
I'm just a musician. Um, to find people who support you and support that and can keep bringing a different aspect of that out of you, and to have, and you need champions. You need gurus, and you need champions. You need someone who's just gonna. You need those people around you who, if you have a creative idea, they go, yeah, great. Um, And I think I've been really lucky to find that. And I've
Yes.
definitely found it in Big Big Train, and I've definitely found it with quite a few other people as you go um through life. You need those people to say, yeah, you can do this, to just support you as you're finding your way with those things. So um I have that in my Big Big Train family. And it's a wonderful thing, and I'm really grateful for that, actually, because it'd be so easy to not have that. And it's not like somebody saying, oh, you do this or you must do that, or there's not someone going, oh, you can do this, Claire, or are you really good at this, or it's none of that. It's just a very quiet, supportive kind of, okay,
Hmm.
move forward and we're all gonna do this. I'm not articulating myself particularly well on this point, but I think it's great if you can be someone else's champion and help them be creative, because it's a very tenuous process sometimes. You do live in your own mind and think, you're constantly sort of assessing and creating.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you can have, it's not necessarily people to help you or to give you money or to give you gigs. It's just someone who you must know this, and I absolutely think you are one of those people as well who does that for other people. It's just a support. It's just a belief. It's a quiet confidence in other people. Um,
I yeah, I think I think people like to dialogue if you're dialoguing back as well with us or you or me or the people that we dialogue with because you said find people that are good with you and nice. And it's what I've learned from my journey on inclusion is that sometimes I go after the wrong people
Okay.
for inclusion. Oh, please, let's talk. Let's mend fences, blah, blah, blah. Versus, wow, I feel comfortable with you. You may not be a superstar, but you are a star. And you're also somebody that's been lifting me up. And I'm sorry it took me so long to recognize that type of thing.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice when
Yeah.
you see that in other people, isn't it? It's nice.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's the only thing that comes to mind, really. Plus, it's just a kind of it's a charmed life. I'm very grateful for the life I have, and I continue.
Yeah.
I am. I often feel like my career's been I've been a bit of a leaf in the wind, really. It's sort of kind of the thing that made me happy to do, and I just never really. I've just kind of like people say, "Oh, do you want to do this job? Yeah, I'll do that." Or do you want to play some guitar with this? Yeah, I'll do that. Or so you grow as a person, as a musician, and
Hmm.
you have an opportunity to meet all people in life, huge
Right.
for different people. You're not just stuck in one slot all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that's healthy for us. Um, and yeah, it's a dream life. Not always with very much money, but it's dream life, and I'm
Right.
very
But yeah. And I'm wagering you're practical in your living choices. So,
yeah, pretty
y-
practical
yeah.
and fairly handy and bit of a garden, but not not too big a house to look after.
Right.
That's good. Um, oh, I mean, there's
Yeah.
always I'd love to live in a field in the middle of nowhere with nature all around. I love that. But that might be just slightly off the financial menu. So it's like
That's
remaining after
something.
thought is nice as well.
Yeah. Claire, I really want to thank you for this. This has been wonderful and mind expanding, if you will. And I have a lot of music to check out tonight because I was thinking about some of the tangents, and I look forward to watching the morning show in time as well.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. I hope you do. I think yeah,
I
it's a
have a
very,
feeling it will, you
very
know.
good. Well, thank you, Anne. Really
You,
nice to be on your show and just to have a nice chat with you.
all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.